Today I'll be walking you through using ezEdit with QuickApps for SharePoint. ezEdit is the interface we use to configure the different web parts provided by QuickApps for SharePoint. So what I've done is I've created a web parts page just to demo how we add a web part and how we configure it. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Add a Web Part to add one of the QuickApps for SharePoint web parts. I'll choose QuickApps for SharePoint. And then I'll choose the qListView web part to add to the page. Just randomly choose one of these web parts. And I'll go ahead and add it to the page. What you'll notice is a message on the screen that says since this is the first time you've used this web part, you will need to configure it. Here are some links that can help you. One of the links that I believe to be one of the more valuable links is to watch the qListView video. See exactly how you configure this web part. There are some basic and advanced training as well as links to the community site in case you have a question about how do I configure this or how do I do this or that. Once you're above that learning curve, or once you've watched one or two videos about these web parts, then what you want to do is you come back again and configure the web part. To configure the web part, we'll call this little twisty and then select ezEdit. Again, this is the main interface. And what you're going to notice is ezEdit has different tabs. For the most part, for most of these web parts, the tabs are somewhat identical. You will find a different tab, say for the chart web part, which says it's called chart attributes and things like that. But let me walk you through some of the basic stuff that you'll find across. Appearance, layout, and advanced, you're accustomed to them. Appearance gives you the ability to change the title of the web part, so this is my title. The layout controls if you want to hide the web part and the direction. Advanced, if you want to minimize it, if you want to prevent the zoning alterations of the web part. Again, this is all basic stuff, native, available to you in SharePoint, except not through the interface, but natively through SharePoint editing web part screens. Display is where you spend most of your time. This is where you bind the web part to a specific list or library, or whether they're on this site or a different site. So I'll just quickly bind this to, say, our assets list, and we'll go ahead and click OK. So this is where you bind the web part to a list. You can go back and then configure what fields will be presented from that list to the end user once we output this grid. So we'll say we'll present the company and the count, and we'll go ahead and save. We can further go into these fields and configure them further, group by, change the formatting of them. You can configure what fields we want to search against right through here as well. And if I keep scrolling towards the bottom of this page, you can configure custom actions on top where it says save, close, cancel. You can have your own custom actions as well. You can build camel filters through here as well to filter content from the SQL Server side and present only the information required. You can change sorting fields, and you can configure who do you want to show or hide this specific web part from right through the display tab. Switching over to the folder appearance tab, this is where you configure, say you're binding this to a document library and you want to present the information, the documents in the folder tree view. You can enable that, and then you can configure what the skin is going to look like. The grid appearance, the outputted grid of the web part, we can configure that through here as well. How many items do we have within a grid? How many pages? What is the page mode? Is it next, previous, or is it numeric? And how many items we're going to have per page? The skin name, and then different style information that we can configure, including color appearance. Actually, let's do that. So we'll say company, and then this is the field that we're going against, and then we'll click on edit appearance. We'll add our own appearance, and then we'll say if value is, then the background color will be this color. Well, actually, let's just choose a bluish color in here, and we'll go ahead and save this information. So this is where you configure color appearance under the grid appearance. Toolbar appearance, the toolbar on top, what do you want to have in? So we can come in here and change the skin. We'll say we'll use the Web 20 skin. We can give the users the option to create new, upload, delete. Let's do the rest. Let's not check the rest of them. Let's give them the option to print and export records from this grid. Ribbon appearance, ribbon on top. When someone clicks on the web part, what do you want to present them with? So these are QuickApps controls. And then the context menu. You don't have to fill it out. Context menu. You can right-click on a record and make changes. So you can configure what the users will see when they right-click on or interact with that record from the grid. So first of all, you want to enable it. And then most people don't know that they need to right-click, so I like to present them with a small icon on the left-hand side that when they click on it, they're just working with the record at that point. So when they click on it, I want them to view, edit, delete, but not do any of the other stuff. Email notification. Do you want them to be able to send email directly by right-clicking on the item and then selecting to send emails? And if so, what do you want to happen? Do you want to allow customizing the message, or do you want to have a fixed message? What's the delivery gonna look like? And then you've got custom display, where you can change the display of the web part. You can bring your own style sheets in here as well. Localization of the web part as well is presented to us in here. And then we'll go ahead and OK out. So I walked you through some of the major ones you'll find on all these different web parts. And notice here we've got a very small thing going on where we've got title. We've got, if I click on it, the ribbon will say Quick App Controls. That was a section in there. And then we have this context menu. When I click on it, I can make changes. I deleted most of the things I can do. I only have 4 things. And then I have on the context menu, I have the option to, let me cancel out, too many clicks. I have the option to delete, create new, as well as perform specific actions. And I don't know what I had under actions, but let's take a look. We've got export and print, and then the only 2 fields I presented were company and count, and obviously we are connected to the assets list. This concludes this video. Thanks for tuning in.